Yo, what is up, fellas? We got ourselves a revamp. I was stupid. Hey, it has a ton of views on the NBA Live '09 videos. Unfortunately, we had a corrupted file for that, on top of having my game destroyed by my English Bulldog. That's right, I'm looking right at you, you pathetic looking son of a bitch. And, yeah, so we're revamping this all up. We're going to do this a little bit differently than before, to where we're going to actually show the NBA draft instead. I know I marked no on that. It should be a yes. Yes, I'm going to go back like that. No fantasy draft. Yes, we're going to go back to the 2008 NBA draft. So at this point, basically, if you've never done this for NBA Live '09, what happens here is that when you do the 2008 NBA draft, it allows you to user control who you want to pick. Mind you, I thought going into this, fellas, that this means that it's pretty much, you're like, oh, cool, I get to experience the NBA draft, I already know how the draft order is going to go. And, yeah, that's interesting, maybe it's just getting me used to how the draft's going to work in general. Let's take a quick look at the roster. Got Marvin Williams with Al Horford, of course, Josh Smith. That is literally my name, so I'm cool with playing with Josh Smith. Joe Johnson, a very pricey Mike Bibby, so maybe we can get, a different type of point guard. But that's, right there. Top two picks. Of course, we're Derrick Rose at number 1 to Chicago. Then we had Michael Beasley out of Kansas State going to Miami, which, if that guy would have panned out, he would have D. Wade on that team. And Sean Marion at the time as well. But still, D. Wade, Michael Beasley being the kind of player he was supposed to be. He was terrible on defense. Still a solid player on offense, but he wasn't the superstar you expected him to be. Still didn't average like 25 or, Basically, Michael Beasley seemed like a Chris Bosh type archetype, but at the same time he looked more athletic too. Just didn't pan out like Chris Bosh did out of Georgia Tech. But it is what it is. But this is the difference right here. So we got the ESPN mock draft. Read more about drafting rookies. Screw it. Might as well just take a gander at it. What to expect anytime during the season. You can see the ESPN draft predictions leading up to the draft. Cool. You can see which players ESPN believes are best fits to your team. Makes sense. And it's available via the off-season central. So there we go. And then the rookie draft, pretty much you'll get a grade, just like in real life, whether it's the NBA draft, NHL draft, NFL draft. You're going to get graded based upon what kind of fit the player is to your team and what he is, the balance between that and the best available. So in this case, we're going to see some interesting grades. Just sit back, because, again, I thought this was just an easy way to get used to how the draft's going to be, but we're going to see what the CPU-controlled teams do with their 2008 drafts. We're looking at it right now. Michael Beasley out of Kansas State, of course. Derrick Rose right there, actually projected, even though they kind of flip-flops, but Jared Bayless over O.J. Mayo and Eric Gordon and Kevin Love. You also had Roy Hibbert right there out of Georgetown. Koufos. JaVale McGee out of Nevada. DJ Augustine as well down the line. We're going to see DeAndre Jordan as well, who didn't actually go until the second round. Russell Westbrook out of UCLA, so, who was actually the original 4th overall pick. They're having O.J. Mayo go there. Brandon Rush out of Kansas, pretty solid player. I'm pretty sure he was an All-American in one of his 2 or 3 years that he may have been there and stuff. But not noticing a ton of different names. Ajinka, yes, for sure. That guy just, We got Mr. L. Roberts and Douglas Roberts, both of those two dudes out of Memphis. But there you go. Robin Lopez gets the first pick. Ajinka Ward. Then O.J. Mayo does actually go. Michael Beasley goes to Memphis. Kevin Love goes to the Clippers. Derrick Rose is now on the Bucks. Roy Hibbert will be going to the Nets. That's a nice fit. Jared Bayless goes to the Kings. Eric Gordon goes to join that team that's already young and loaded. Brandon Rush goes to the Sixers. That's a nice fit. DJ Augustine's going to be a nice fit right there. And then Danilo Gallinari goes. Russell Westbrook is now a Charlotte Bobcat. DeAndre Jordan, terrible choice right there. You already have Dwight Howard. So I don't expect. It just doesn't make any sense. A very young, promising, he's about. I think at this point he's about to hit his 3-year. Once he begins that first year, the 3 years that Dwight Howard gets the three-peat of Defensive Player of the Year, arguably one of the best defensive players just of all time at his peak right there. Pretty insane. And really though, what the fuck happened right here when it came to these teams? You should fire the first 3 fucking rounds of players. I mean, Michael Beasley and Derrick Rose, the top 2 players, don't according to the mock draft, and then you got some forfeited picks right here. And who are the Spurs right here to actually forfeit a pick? They're just going to find some dude who's going to fucking tear it up. There you go. Forward pick right there. But still, it's just, Jesus Christ, man. Top 2 players. Actually, the top 3 players don't even, projected players don't even go in the top 4. So, please tell me about that. That doesn't make a lick of sense. These teams should be absolutely fucking scolded and fired. It's fucking pathetic. It's just, you explain that to me. That doesn't make a lick of sense. That's pretty fucking bizarre how things went in that draft. Yeah. So what a way to ruin things for the Miami Heat. Ruin things for the Bulls. I mean, at this point, Derrick Rose is supposed to help this team become a number 1 seed. And I talk about this quite a bit in the past. The season that Derrick Rose tears his ACL and they make it the number 1 seed in the East when he tears his ACL in the first round against the Philadelphia 76ers. D. Rose, I believe, and I'm pretty damn sure, with that 30th pick, they selected Jimmy Butler out of Marquette. Wow. That would have changed things quite a bit if you ask me. Would have been a little bit harder for Mr. LeBron to get out of the East for like 7-8 consecutive seasons. Now looking at hiring the staff, for this I'm just going to save some money and get a guy that wants to work for us. His specialty is Africa. Good luck for us when it comes to this. And it's just, I don't think we're going to get many prospects from there. But hey, we're not going to spend that much money on him. Might as well utilize the assistants, the assistant coach. So that way I'll show you all in just a sec of what to do. Excuse me. When it comes to training and do development and improve these players. You see development's an A+. If we got players like a Josh Smith and an Al Horford, we can really improve their offensive ratings since they're pretty solid defensive players and they're very, very young since, you know, Josh Smith had high school with already 81. He's like, 81 overall. He needs to improve his shooting at this point. He's very athletic, obviously. And his defense down low is at least good. Maybe we can improve some perimeter defense. And obviously his shooting, because that was one thing he never actually did well, was improve his shooting. He was just thought that he was good at shooting. And it led to absolutely just shit in his career. Just shooting outside of the rim when it's like, dude, you're high flying. Doesn't make any sense. So we're going to change that. He's a very athletic type of stretch floor that we have at the 3, just in case we want to play like Marvin Williams, Al Horford. So technically we can play those 3 together on the floor at the same time. A very big lineup in my opinion, to where Marvin and Josh can switch in and out of the post. Maybe Marvin plays more outside while Josh is more of an athletic, strong guy who can definitely still get rebounds. And the dude can jump all over the entire league with his athleticism. And Al Horford can play the center. Or one of those 2 just plays the 4. Or we just play like a really small lineup with that. So that'll work well. Mike Bibby's right there. We got Speedy Claxton, an injured reserve. And then Mike Bibby and Joe Johnson on the outside to help with shooting. We also got Josh Childress, one of the best hairdos in the history of these NBA Live games. And right there, I want to work for your team for quite some time. There we go, fellas. We've officially hired our entire staff. We deleted the messages. We can go ahead and set this up. And after you hire the staff, it's going to lead us to training camp. And with training camp, it's just about a week long compared to the 2 weeks of hiring. And, we can read more about training camp. Are we? Yep. Yes, we are. There we go. Careers have started each year. And time opportunity to train your players and improve their ratings. And especially with a young team like this, we're definitely going to improve the likes of Al Horford. You're going to see a couple of the young bench players because it's not hard to improve their ratings considering how shit they are. And then right here, I'll show it right here. We'll have the difference, divided up between offense, defense, and athleticism. I know I'm going to be paying, his assistant grade is a C, though, for offense, but I'm still going to be putting on offense for the most part. Maybe that's just not smart. I don't know. Y'all let me know. I've ended up doing 50, 35, and 15. This team's already quite athletic. And then we'll see after that what happens, and we'll be playing the Mavericks to start off the season. Later, fellas.